Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of April 27, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Ogintoy, an infantry officer. The West Group improved their frontline positions, defeating Ukrainian mechanized, airmobile, and assault brigades around Sinkovo, Proletarskoye, Vyshai Solnoy, Novy Mir, Kupiansk, Kupiansk-Zlovaya, and Kirovsk. Ukrainian forces suffered up to 235 casualties, with significant material losses including armored vehicles, field artillery, a U.S.-made and /TPQ-50 radar, and 8 ammunition depots.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Ogintoy, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Ogintoy, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Always an honor to provide clarity on the current situation.
Let's begin with the overall picture. How would you summarize the progress made across the different sectors of the front over the past several days?
Broadly speaking, the Russian armed forces have maintained and extended operational momentum across multiple axes. In the north, west, south, center, east, and Dnepr directions, our formations systematically engaged and degraded enemy forces. We focused on dislocating Ukrainian operational reserves, damaging critical logistical nodes, and neutralizing command centers. What we're seeing is a progressive erosion of the Ukrainian armed forces' ability to sustain coordinated defense. Our forces didn't merely repel Ukrainian attacks, we seized more advantageous tactical positions, improved our depth of defense, and inflicted heavy personnel and equipment losses. This combination of attritional and positional warfare is steadily shifting the operational balance in our favor.
Let's dive into specifics. How did operations unfold in the northern sector, particularly around Sumy?
In the north, specifically in the Belgorod direction, our North Group conducted deliberate attacks targeting concentrations of Ukrainian mechanized, tank, and airborne forces around key settlements like Zapsoli, Unikovka, Proletarskoye, Novodmitrovka, and Sadki. The operations there emphasized attrition over terrain seizure, neutralizing approximately 75 enemy servicemen, destroying armored vehicles, artillery pieces, and a major fuel depot. From an operational perspective, this undermines the Ukrainian capacity to stage immediate counterattacks or sustain forces in the Sumy region. Fuel logistics, in particular, are critical. By eliminating a depot, we exponentially increase their supply chain difficulties.
Turning to the western axis, there were reports of significant developments near Kupiansk. Can you elaborate?
Yes. In the western sector, our West Group executed a calculated advance along the front, pushing deeper near settlements like Sinkovo, Kupiansk, and Kupiansk-Zlovaya. The primary objective was to fracture Ukrainian defensive cohesion by targeting mechanized, airmobile, and assault brigades. Enemy casualties were substantial, over 230 personnel, and we neutralized critical assets like a U.S.-supplied and /TPQ-50 counterbattery radar and multiple ammunition depots. These actions degrade Ukraine's ability to coordinate artillery responses, which is pivotal because artillery remains their primary method for halting Russian advances. Strategically, consolidating gains in Kupiansk could open operational avenues deeper into Kharkov Oblast.
There's also movement in the southern sector. How would you assess the impact there?
The southern front, particularly around Donetsk, remains highly dynamic. Our southern group successfully occupied more favorable lines and struck Ukrainian mechanized brigades and special forces elements around key settlements including Konstantinovka and Alexeyevo-Druzhkovka. Enemy casualties exceeded 250, alongside the destruction of tanks, armored vehicles, and an important electronic warfare station. The latter is key. Neutralizing enemy electronic warfare capabilities significantly weakens their ability to coordinate drone operations and counter our own UAV reconnaissance. The southern sector is where the cumulative weight of attrition is beginning to visibly unbalance Ukrainian operational coherence.
We've heard about advances by the center and east groups as well. How would you characterize their operations?
Both the center and east groups were highly active. The center group improved tactical positioning across multiple key points, Myrylyabovka, Bogdanovka, and Udagnoy among them, eliminating over 425 Ukrainian troops, armored vehicles, and artillery units. These actions aren't just about casualty counts, they create breaks in the Ukrainian defensive lattice that can be exploited in future operations.
And the east group of forces?
Meanwhile, in the east, our units pushed deeper into the enemy's defense, especially around Otradnoy and Volnoy Pol. We engaged mechanized, airmobile, and marine brigades, inflicting 140 casualties. More importantly, 2 enemy electronic warfare stations were destroyed, further tipping the electronic battlefield in our favor. These incremental but deliberate penetrations sap enemy reserves and sap their will to hold forward positions.
Can you touch on the Dnepr group's activities along the Zaporizhia and Kherson sectors?
In the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions, the Dnepr group successfully engaged coastal defense and territorial brigades, notably around Novopavlovka and Kazatsko. The enemy lost up to 70 personnel along with armored assets. What's critical here is not just the attrition but the preservation of operational initiative. By neutralizing enemy forces in these areas, we maintain pressure and limit the Ukrainian ability to project power back across the Dnepr River.
Beyond ground operations, what can you tell us about strategic strikes and air defense activities?
Operational tactical aviation, drones, missile forces, and artillery conducted 168 targeted strikes against Ukrainian military infrastructure, including airfields, HIMARS rocket storage sites, and UAV workshops. These strikes are intended to weaken not only frontline units but also strategic rear areas that sustain them.
And air defense?
On the defensive side, our air defense systems performed robustly, intercepting a JDAM-guided bomb, HIMARS rockets, S-200 converted missiles used against ground targets, and 124 UAVs. This layered air defense significantly reduces the effectiveness of Ukrainian standoff attacks, allowing us greater freedom of maneuver across the front.
Finally, from a broader perspective, how would you characterize cumulative Ukrainian losses so far?
The cumulative losses since the beginning of the special military operation are staggering: aircraft, helicopters, over 53,000 UAVs, air defense systems, 23,000 armored vehicles, and close to 25,000 artillery pieces and mortars, among others. These losses are not just statistics, they reflect the strategic exhaustion of Ukraine's military potential. Every vehicle, every artillery tube lost, narrows their options and compels difficult operational choices.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that our forces remain committed to achieving our objectives while minimizing unnecessary harm.